everybody! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Robert. I'm the Nomad, and we're going to talk a little bit about what happened after I got out of Florida. Just want to correct the timeline real quick. So first, I drove up to St. Augustine in St. Johns County. Then I went to the Fun Fortress. Then I went to Johnny and John's, and then I went down to Sebring for a few days and all the way back up to Savannah. So it was a very long drive both ways, but I like those drives. That's my thing. That's where uh, that's where I find a little bit of solitude. I pop in some music. Sometimes I just take it completely quiet, and I just sort of decompress that way. Now, before I tell you how I got to Savannah, or more specifically Guyton, that's where I was staying, I'm going to go over how you should drive in Georgia because there's a very specific way that you drive, and they emphasize that on some of their street signs, but signs really don't say enough. After speaking with a lot of locals and seeing with my own eyes how things go down on the highway in Georgia, I really want to emphasize that you want to stay as close to the speed limit as possible, 5 above or 5 below. And I know that's common sense for the whole United States, but in Georgia especially. The cops are very quick to pull over people who are not driving correctly. And this happens to everybody. I saw big rigs getting pulled over in mass. And there were, when I say in mass, I mean there's a lot of them getting pulled over. The cops are not hesitant to pull you over if you are driving poorly. So you stay 5 above or 5 below and you keep it that very close eye on your speed. The next thing, and I can't stress this enough, do not use your phone while you're driving in Georgia. That is, don't have it in your hand. Don't appear to be looking off to the side. The cops are watching you like a hawk when you're driving in Georgia. And if you ask the locals, everybody knows somebody who's gotten pulled over for using their phone and given a ticket for using their phone. So don't take your chances with using a phone when you're driving in Georgia. The cops are extremely strict and everyone's going to tell you about it. So just be aware of that when you're driving in Georgia. Alright, so now that I've given you a little bit of a preface on what getting there is like, I'm going to tell you about my drive there because even though I didn't get pulled over or anything, it was still interesting. As I said before, I started out in Sebring and had that goodbye reunion with my sister. I was like, hey, and she was like, hey, and it was great seeing her on my way out. I still miss her now, even though I did get to see her again, and I'll tell you how. But I got a good distance out of Sebring before I didn't see her again. And so I got a couple hours from the border, and it finally dawned on me. I'm leaving Florida, and I'll be coming back for a long time. And it's my home state, and I already started to miss it, even though I hadn't left yet. But I got to Georgia, like I crossed the border, and there's like a sign that says "Welcome to Georgia," and then it's woods. there are so many trees along the road in Georgia. Like Georgia is trees. There's a lot of uh, trees everywhere you look in Georgia. So that was my experience with it, anyways. And so there are exits on the highway, sure, but they're very rural. And it just so happened, I got the call of nature and I had to pee because I don't want it to go to voicemail. And so I get off on one of these rural exits thinking I'll stop at, McDonald's or a gas station or whatever. And as you can generally in the US do that. I pull into the McDonald's, and because of the whole thing, their lobby was closed. And I was like, oh, okay. So, and I said some things I'm not going to repeat on YouTube, and or in general, but I was upset. So I got in my car and I saw a gas station across the street, but there are a few lanes of traffic. I don't want to cross over it. I go and I look for something else. Well, there was nothing else. Before I knew it, I was in the middle of the woods on a dirt road and the sun was gone. It was night. Like, I left Sebring, I want to say in the early afternoon, and it was the dead of night when I was lost in the woods with my car looking for a bathroom. I wasn't even thinking about the bathroom at that point. I was just scared and wanted to get back on the highway. I found my way out, and I was in the same lane as that gas station I mentioned earlier. I went in, took care of business, and I called my Airbnb host and was like, "Hey, I'm coming from Sebring. I'm gonna be a little bit late." And he goes, "Sure, no problem. Come on in. When you get here, the door will be unlocked. It's fine." Really cool host, by the way. I had a really good host in Guyton. But I go ahead and fill up my car tank, and I empty my tank, and I hit the road.
Now, that is part one of things that happen in Georgia. A peach of advice. My first peach of advice is drive with caution. Now, I'll be telling you about what actually happened when I was in Georgia, settled in to my Airbnb in part two, a peach of advice. I hope to see you all there, and I hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks for coming by. If you do want to study some ESL with me, if you're trying to improve your English, you can do that. The link in the description. Also, I encourage you to check out my friend Amanda's channel. She does daily vlogs. If you're just looking for a friend on YouTube to keep up with on the regular, she is a great channel for you to check out. Thanks for coming by, everybody.